Have you ever sat at the kitchen table, coffee in hand, and thought to yourself, how did I get here? Maybe you worked hard your whole life, raised a family, paid the bills, did what you were supposed to do. And yet, now that you're over 60, you look at your bank account and there's barely anything there for retirement. Or maybe nothing at all. If that's you, I want to say something right off the bat. You're not alone. And more importantly, you're not out of time. No matter where you are financially, no matter how late you feel you're starting, there's still a path forward. You can build stability, you can build peace of mind, and yes, even now, you can still build wealth. You might be thinking, isn't it too late? And I get it. That question alone is enough to keep you up at night. But here's the truth. 60 isn't the end. It's just a new chapter. This video is about helping you turn the page, even if you feel like you've been stuck on the same paragraph for years. So today, let's talk about how you can take control of your money, even if you feel like you've got nothing left to start with. These are 8 steps that are simple, practical, and designed specifically for folks in your season of life. Not 20-year-olds living off ramen noodles and stock tips from TikTok. Let's begin with the very first step, and it might just be the most important of all. And that is simply this. Believe that it's still possible. I can't stress this enough. No financial plan, no spreadsheet, no investment strategy will work if you don't truly believe in your own ability to move forward. Because at the end of the day, your mindset is your engine. And without it, the car's not going anywhere. You're not too old. You're not too far behind. You're not doomed to struggle for the rest of your life. The truth is, you've already lived through tough seasons. You've overcome heartbreak, loss, health scares, layoffs, moves, divorces, maybe even a few broken dreams. And yet, here you are, still standing, still trying. That's proof of something right there. So if you've got that kind of resilience inside of you, and I know you do, then you've got what it takes to start again financially. Will it take some work? Sure. Will it take consistency and patience? Absolutely. But is it too late? Not a chance. It starts with believing. You've got to see the future version of yourself. The one who doesn't worry every time the Social Security check lands. The one who has breathing room. Who sleeps a little better at night, knowing the lights are staying on, the pantry's full, and maybe there's even a little trip you can look forward to. A birthday gift you can send your grandchild. A moment where money isn't always the reason you say no. That version of you is still possible. But the journey to get there starts here, and it starts now with belief. Once your mindset is in the right place, the second thing you've got to do is start learning. And I'm not talking about going back to school or memorizing tax codes. I mean simply this. Start feeding your brain with the right kind of knowledge about money. Let me ask you something. How did you learn about money growing up? For many of us, it wasn't from a textbook or a class. It was from our parents, who might have been just trying to survive themselves. Or maybe we learned from watching others make mistakes. Or worse, we never really learned at all. And that's okay. Because here's the good news. You can still learn. You can still grow. You can still become a student of your own finances, no matter how old you are. Start small. Pick up one book this month. Just one. That teaches you something practical about money. Maybe it's about budgeting. Maybe it's about investing. Maybe it's about mindset, habits, or even how to handle fear around finances. Whatever it is, let that be your first brick. One book a month is 12 books a year. And 12 bricks is enough to start building a whole new foundation. And don't stop with books. Watch videos like this. Listen to podcasts while you take your morning walk. Talk to people you trust who have made smart money decisions. Fill your world with voices that help you grow. not scare you into staying stuck. Because the truth is, if the way you've handled money up until now hasn't worked, it's probably time to learn a new way. And learning isn't about being smart, it's about being open. Humble enough to admit we don't know everything, and brave enough to do something about it. Now, once your mind is in the right place and you've started learning, it's time to take that knowledge and turn it into something concrete. That's where the third step comes in, and it's something very few people actually do. You need to write out a plan. Not just in your head. Not just a vague idea of, I'll save more, or I'll stop spending so much. No, I mean a real, written down, honest-to-goodness plan for how you're going to build your financial future. You wouldn't go on a road trip without a map or GPS, right? So why go on the most important journey of your life, your journey towards security and peace, without directions? Take a piece of paper or open a blank document on your computer and start by asking yourself, what do I actually want? Do you want to have $10,000 saved in the next 5 years? Do you want to be debt-free in 3? Do you want to retire comfortably by 70, or just feel less anxious about bills next month? Get specific, write it down, put numbers on it. And then, under each goal, jot down a few small, repeatable actions that will get you there. Maybe it's saving $50 a week. Maybe it's cutting a subscription you barely use. Maybe it's setting up an automatic transfer to a savings account every month. The key isn't how big the action is, it's how consistent it is. And keep that plan where you can see it. On your fridge, by your nightstand, somewhere it can look back at you every day and remind you you're going somewhere on purpose. Now I'll tell you something you might not expect. Writing down your goals, like this, might feel emotional. It might stir up guilt, regret, even shame. You might think about all the time you've lost, all the money you wasted, all the what-ifs. And to that, I want to say, let it go. What matters now is what you do next. The past is written, but the future? That part's still in your hands. Take a deep breath. You've already done something most people never do. You've made the decision to change, and that counts for something. All right, let's keep going. We've talked about believing it's possible. We've talked about learning new things. And we've talked about building a plan. Now let's look at what you can start doing with your money, even if it doesn't feel like much yet. So let's talk about what to actually do with your money, even if you feel like there isn't much of it. Because I'll tell you this, it's not about how much you have, it's about how well you use what you've got. That's the heart of step 4, and it's time to start putting your money to work by investing. Now, before your eyes glaze over or you start thinking, investing? That's for rich people in their 30s. I want you to hear this clearly. It's not too late for you. Not at all. You don't need to be some Wall Street genius. You just need to start small, smart, and steady. Here's the thing about money. When you put it in places where it grows, it starts to work for you. You stop trading time for every dollar, and you start letting your money earn more money. That's what investing is. And the sooner you start, the more time it has to grow, even in your 60s or 70s. Now, let's say you were able to put aside just $500 a month, which might sound like a stretch right now, but stick with me. If you did that for 25 years and earned an average return of 8%, you'd end up with close to $473,000 before adjusting for inflation. Adjusted for inflation, that's still around $290,000, and that's just from setting aside $500 a month. No miracle, no magic, just consistency. And if you can only do $100 right now, that's okay. It still grows. The key is to begin. Start where you are, with what you have, and keep going. Now maybe you're wondering, where would I even invest? What do I trust? Start by looking into something simple, a total stock market index fund. These funds spread your investment across hundreds or even thousands of companies, which helps lower your risk. You're not betting on one company to win. You're betting on the whole market to grow over time. And historically, it has. If your employer still offers a 401k, and especially if they match contributions, grab that opportunity. A match is basically free money, and we don't say no to free money. If you're not working or don't have access to a retirement plan, you can still open a personal brokerage account. It's easier now than ever, and many of them let you start with just a few dollars. There's no excuse anymore that it's too complicated or out of reach. You've got options. Just remember, invest in things you understand. If a financial opportunity sounds too good to be true, or is wrapped in fancy words you can't make sense of, it probably isn't worth your trust. Stick with what's steady, what's proven, and what feels clear. And keep learning as you go. You don't have to know everything to start, but you do have to keep growing. Now, while we're talking about investing and building assets, we can't ignore the flip side of the coin, and that's debt. That's step 5. Start clearing away the debt that's holding you back. Debt is like a hole in your pocket. No matter how much you try to save or invest, if your debt is dragging you down, it's going to be hard to move forward. Especially the kind of debt tied to things that lose value, like high-interest credit cards, old car loans, or stuff you don't even remember buying. So if you're serious about building financial freedom, it's time to tackle that debt. Not all at once, not in a panic, but with a plan. One method that helps a lot of people is the debt snowball. Start with your smallest debt, the one you can knock out the fastest. Pay the minimum on everything else, but throw every extra dollar at that small one. When it's gone, roll that payment over to the next one, and so on. Each win builds momentum, and momentum is powerful. You'd be surprised how good it feels to pay something off. It's more than numbers. It's about confidence. It reminds you that you're making progress, that you're no longer stuck, that you're in control again. And along the way, I encourage you to check your net worth once or twice a year. That's simply the value of what you own minus what you owe. It may not be much at first, but watching that number slowly rise over time is proof that what you're doing is working, and you deserve to see that. But even with all the saving and budgeting and debt reduction in the world, there's something else that can speed up your progress, and that's increasing your income. That's step 6. Now I know that can feel overwhelming. You might be retired, or working part-time, or not sure how many options are really out there at your age. But hear me, income is not just about getting another job. It's about finding new ways to bring in money, using what you already know, what you already enjoy, and what you're already good at. Maybe you're great at fixing things. Maybe you've got a knack for writing or organizing or baking. Maybe you love dogs or teaching or helping people. There's something in your hands right now that could become income, even if it starts as a trickle. We live in a time where more and more people over 60 are becoming freelancers, offering services, selling homemade crafts, or even just downsizing their belongings and turning clutter into cash. There's dignity in earning, no matter how small the amount, because every dollar counts when you're building something new. And let's not forget the other side of this, cutting costs. Sometimes the fastest way to earn more is to stop spending on things that don't matter. Take a close look at your monthly expenses. Are there subscriptions you don't use? Meals out that could be swapped for home cooking? Stuff you're paying for out of habit more than need? You don't have to live like a monk. But the more space you create between what you earn and what you spend, the more power you give yourself. That space, that margin, is what lets you save, invest, breathe. And remember, your 2 most powerful wealth-building tools are simple: your income and your ability to live below it. Protect those tools like your life depends on it, because honestly, your peace of mind just might. Now let's take a moment here and just pause. If you've come this far, if you've listened, reflected, and maybe even started imagining what's possible for your next chapter, I want you to know how proud I am of you. This isn't easy. It's vulnerable. It takes guts to admit you need a change, and even more to start making one. But we're not done yet. There's something deeper than numbers and budgets and even income. Something that makes all the difference between success and spinning your wheels. What really separates people who make progress from those who stay stuck, even when they have the same income, the same information, the same opportunities. It's not luck or talent or even timing. It's something quieter, something deeper. It's discipline. Step 7 is about that inner engine, the part of you that decides to show up even when you don't feel like it, the part that says no when it would be easier to say yes, the part that keeps going when results are slow and doubts are loud. Let's be honest, saving money, sticking to a plan, changing lifelong habits. It's not always exciting. It doesn't always feel good in the moment. And sometimes it can feel like you're doing all the right things and still not seeing the results fast enough. That's where discipline shows up. Discipline is what gets you up in the morning to check your budget when you'd rather avoid it. It's what helps you walk past something tempting at the store and remember what you're really saving for. It's what reminds you that you're not just living for today's comfort, but for tomorrow's peace. And right alongside discipline comes consistency, not perfection. Consistency. You don't need to do it all at once. You don't need to do it perfectly, but you do need to do it again and again, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, especially when no one's watching. Think about it like tending a garden. You don't throw seeds in the ground, walk away, and expect fruit by Friday. You check the soil. You water it. You show up every day. Some days it looks like nothing's happening. But if you stay consistent, the harvest comes. And it always comes later than the planting. And I'll add one more thing here. Accountability. Whether it's a friend, a spouse, a trusted advisor, or even just writing things down in a journal, having something or someone to keep you on track matters. It reminds you that this isn't just a wish, it's a commitment. And commitments grow stronger when we say them out loud, when we track them, when we revisit them often. So if you've struggled with follow-through in the past, don't beat yourself up. You're human, but maybe this time you do it differently. You find an accountability partner. You write your goals where you can see them. You set a weekly reminder on your phone. You build systems that make it easier to stay consistent, not harder. Because without discipline and consistency, all the good intentions in the world won't get you where you want to go. But with them, you become unstoppable. Now, this final step, step 8, is one that doesn't get talked about enough in financial conversations. But I believe it's just as important, maybe even more so. Take care of your health. Yes, we're talking about money. Yes, this is about retirement and savings and building a better financial future. But what's all of that worth if you're too sick or too exhausted to enjoy it? Your health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, is the foundation for everything else in your life. If your body breaks down, if your mind is overwhelmed, if your energy is gone, then no amount of money can fix that. So if you're in your 60s and you're just starting to rebuild financially, let your health become a part of your wealth strategy. Because it is. Start small. Take a walk every day, even if it's just around the block. Stretch in the morning, drink more water, cut back on sugar, eat more whole foods, prioritize sleep. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, move your arms, your neck, your fingers. Whatever you can do, do it. Movement is medicine. And don't stop there. Take care of your mental health too. Life after 60 can be emotional. There are losses, transitions, quiet moments that used to be full of noise. You might feel lonely at times or unsure of your purpose. That's normal. But don't stay silent about it. Talk to someone. Journal. Sit in the sunlight. laugh more, be kind to yourself. Remember that your thoughts shape your reality, just like your spending does. And don't forget the spiritual side of life, whether that's prayer, meditation, community, gratitude, or just taking time to pause and reflect. Because all the money in the world can't buy inner peace, but a calm spirit that can carry you through the hardest days with more strength than you realize. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's necessary, especially now. Because this next chapter of your life, the chapter you're choosing to rewrite, it depends on you having the energy and strength to enjoy what you're building. Imagine getting to 75, 80, 85 years old, not just with a little money saved, but with a strong body, a clear mind, and a peaceful heart. That's real wealth. That's the goal. So here we are, 8 powerful, practical steps that can help you rebuild your finances and your future, even if you're starting at 60 with nothing. Believe it's possible. Learn everything you can. Write down your plan. Start investing, even if it's small. Tackle your debt with a purpose. Grow your income or stretch your dollars. Stay disciplined, stay consistent, and take care of your one beautiful, irreplaceable body and mind. Now, you might be thinking, that's a lot. And yes, it is. But remember this, you don't have to do all 8 things today. You just have to take the next step. One choice, one action, one small change that moves you closer to the life you want. Because starting over in your 60s isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of courage. And if no one else has told you this lately, I'm proud of you for listening, for learning, for choosing not to give up. You've got more time than you think, and you've got more strength than you realize. If this video has encouraged you in any way, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What step do you feel ready to take? What's one small change you can start with this week? Be sure to give this video a thumbs up so it reaches more people just like you. People who may feel alone, discouraged, or unsure where to begin. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join our strong elderly life community. We're in this together. And I'll leave you with this. The best person to take care of the older you is the you who's watching this right now. So take care of yourself, believe in yourself, and keep going. Here's to living your best life at any age.